In this video I'm going to show you how to play 3 great licks from the guitar legend Randy Rhoads, so stay tuned. Hey there, this is James here for James Shipway Guitar, and welcome to my video lesson on Randy Rhoads. Now in this lesson I'm going to show you 3 licks taken from Randy's style of playing, similar to some of the ideas he plays on his first album with Ozzy Osbourne, the first Blizzard of Oz album. Now all these licks, the tab, scale and everything are available as part of my rock guitar lick bundle, which you can get by clicking on the link underneath this video. Scale, shapes, tab and everything for this video, plus another of my other lick videos on YouTube. So check that out if you think it's going to help you get a bit more out of this lesson. Now all these licks are played in the key of G, using G minor pentatonic and G blues scale and a couple of other scales as well, which we're going to look at as we go through the lesson. So let's dive in and look at lick 1. Okay, this lick's similar to one that Randy Rhoads plays in his solo on the song I Don't Know, taken from that Blizzard of Oz album I was just talking about. Let's have a look at the scale shape he's using, and it's a G blues scale, just a basic blues scale shape, played up at the 15th fret in the key of G. So we've moved it from here, up the octave, up 12 frets to the 15th fret. So what we're doing, here's a scale shape, we're going 15 to 18 on the low E string, 15, 16, 17 on the A string, 15 to 17 on the D string, 15, 17, 18 on the B string, on the G string, sorry, 15 to 18 on the B string, and 15 to 18 on the top E string. Now the lick only really uses the top part of the scale, but that's the whole scale shape if you need to learn that as well. So let's look at what's happening here. We're grabbing 18 on the B string and we're bending it up 3 times like this. So hold the last bend, maybe apply a little bit of vibrato. So remember also to choke the bend off in between like this. Killing it off with my right hand so we don't hear the letdown. So kill it off in between. Keep it nice and clean. Bend up. Maybe a bit of vibrato there. Now we're going to do this bit. So quite a lot of notes in there. Let me take you through those in smaller groups. So we're starting at the 15th fret on the top E string, and 18 down to 15 on the B string. Then we're going to pick the G string and bend it up 2 frets. Now I'm using my second finger for that. Then I'm using my first finger to play the B string at the 15th fret and the top E at the 15th fret. Like that. Then to end that little group of notes, we're going to play the 18th fret down to the 15th fret on the B string. So far the lick goes like this. Now often we play these kind of licks using hammer-ons and pull-offs. I'm picking every note here because often Randy used to do that and it gave us the notes that real choppy kind of heavy, sort of lots of attack sort of sound. So that's why I'm playing it this way. But you know, feel free to experiment, use hammer-ons and pull-offs if you really prefer. But you won't get quite that choppy sound that I'm talking about. So let's look at the next bit. We're going to go to 18 on the G string, then to 15 on the B string, Then 18 down to 15 on the G string again. Now we're going to go 17 to 15 on the G string, 17 to 15 on the D string. Then finally we're going to grab this G string at 17 and bend it up. Kind of a good example of how you can make the blues scale sound not very bluesy at all. I mean, that's quite a dark sounding sort of rocky lick. So yeah, just a good example of the flexibility and the versatility of this particular scale. And I mean, Randy used that loads in his playing. Lots of his great ideas are really blues scale based, as well as loads of other scales as well. But this is certainly one to nail if you want to play in this kind of style. Okay, so there's your first lick. Let's have a listen to lick 2 now. Okay, this lick is based on one little repeating idea which we then move down the neck in 1 fret steps at a time. And it creates this kind of tense, uptight sort of sound which Randy used to use quite a lot in his playing. So let's take a look at the fragment that he's playing and then we'll look at how he moves it up and down the neck. Now the scale that he's using here is G Dorian. Now this is kind of like a minor pentatonic scale with some notes added in, and it's played up at the 10th fret. So you might not have seen this scale shape before, and I don't want you to worry too much if you haven't, but I'm just going to take you through this anyway so you can just see where this lick's actually coming from and then find ways to maybe experiment with this scale a bit, apply it in your playing. Just when you're soloing in G minor, very often it'll work if you just add some of these notes from the Dorian mode in with your minor pentatonic type ideas. So let's check out that scale shape. It's all in the lick bundle underneath, which you can get. So the tab's in there for it, but I'll show you in the video too. So we've got 10 on the A string, then it's going 12 to 13 on the A string, then we're going 10 to 12 on the D string. Now we're going 9, 10, 12 on the G string. 10, 11, 13 on the B string, and 10, 12, 13 on the top E string. Okay, so that's how you can play a G Dorian mode. It's just a commonly used scale that we often use in the soloing in the key of G minor. Now let's have a look at what Randy's doing here. He's only using the B and the G string out of that pattern, and he's going 11 down to 10 on the B and 12 down to 10 on the G. And that's actually all you need to know for this whole lick. You play that twice. Now again, I'm alternate picking that, and Randy used to play these kind of licks alternate picked and get a very choppy sound with a lot of attack. So here's that bit again. You get that choppy sound. So what do we do next? Well, we're going to move it down 1 fret and play exactly the same. We're going to play it twice there. Then we're going to move it down 1 fret and play it once. Do that again, and again, and again, and that's the end of the lick. So it sounds like this. Up at the 10th fret, we play that bit twice. Down a fret and play it twice. Down 1 fret, play it once. Do that again, and again, and again. Now I'm using a little bit of palm muting with my right hand to get that sort of choppy sound. So you can do that too if you like. So Randy's just repeating this idea down the neck like that. And although you get some notes which aren't in the scale and gonna sound a little bit suspect maybe if you spent a long time on them, you can get away with it here because first of all the notes are quite short, and most importantly he's really playing it like he means it. So we don't hear those wrong notes, we just hear the phrase moving down one fret at a time. And because he plays it with a lot of conviction and a lot of attack, it can work. So this is something you can experiment with in your own playing, but handle with care. It won't work in every situation, and you've got to play those outside notes like you really mean them, or they will sound wrong. But that's just something to experiment with. Anyway, let's hear that one more time over the chords. The other thing that's making that lick work well is the fact that he's ending it on a phrase that is in the G minor scale. So you don't want to end on a note that is going to be out, or the whole idea is going to sound wrong. So Randy's ending it on a note that's in the G minor pentatonic scale, and that's another thing that's making that idea work. Okay, let's take a look at lick 3 then. So we're starting off in G blues scale down at the 3rd and 5th fret here, and we're bending up the 5th fret on the G string. Then we're going to the 3rd fret on the B string and the top E string, and then pulling off 6 down to 3 on the G string. Then we're going to play 6 on the G string and back to 3 on the B string. And then we're going to pull off down this little blues scale fragment here, 6, 5, 3 on the G string. Now I'm using my 2nd and 3rd fingers here. You could use your 3rd and your little if you prefer. And then we're going to play the D string at the 5th fret. And then we're going to bend the G string up at the 5th fret up 2 frets. So we get this. You might notice here, when I do the pull off, I'm pulling off here, and I'm using my 2nd finger there, and then 3rd for the bend. Just means I don't have to do this rolling, and it's a little bit harder then to get back to the bend in time. So you might try using that. You pull off here, 2nd finger plays the 5th fret on the D, 3rd finger plays the 5th fret on the G, and we're going to bend it up. So that's the first part of the lick. Here it is again a few times. Next in this lick, we're going to move our scale shape up an octave. So it's 12 frets up to the 15th fret. Now if you're not sure how to do that, then watch this video here where I explain step by step how to do this with this particular scale pattern. Okay, so watch that if you need to learn how to move a scale up an octave. But assuming you know that, we're now up here at the 15th fret, and it's the same scale shape that we started off this lesson with lick 1. And we're going to bend up 17 on the G string, I'm using my 2nd finger, 15 on the top E string, 18 down to 15 on the B string. I'm using my 3rd and my 1st finger, and I'm picking all these notes. So we get this. Next we're going to play 18 on the G string, 15 on the B string, and then finally we're going to go 17 down to 15 on the G string. Now we're going to add another little note into our blues scale pattern, and this actually is another note from the Dorian mode or Dorian scale, which we were talking about earlier on, and it's here at the 17th fret. Now whether or not you know about the Dorian scale or the theory of it and all this kind of stuff doesn't matter a whole lot right now. Let's just say that a lot of the sort of rock players from that era add that note into their blues scale, and it just sounds really cool. So we've got like this now. And there's our added note on the 17th fret on the B string, okay? That's a really awesome little thing to do to your blues scale. That note can really sound great. So maybe experiment with that a little bit. So here's the scale shape. If we added that note in, it would be here. On the B string, it would be 18, 17, 15. Then 18, 17, 15 on the G string too. And we're adding this note in right at the end of the lick here. We're going to grab it and bend it up, pick it and bend it again. So we have this. So if I put those two parts together, it's quite hard at speed, getting from the low down up to high. So be patient with that. Maybe put a little gap in between the two. Just take it slowly with that. It is difficult, this jump. It's not easy at all. So here's the first part of the lick. Okay, so there's 3 licks in the style of Randy Rhoads. Now, like I say, they're all in G minor. I've shown you the scale pattern, so hopefully you can use those as the jumping off point for some of your own ideas. And this is a really essential thing to do. So learn these licks, see how you can use them in your playing, but then use them as like the blueprint or the template for some of your own ideas. This is how you go on to develop your own style and your own licks and this kind of thing. So essential to do that. And never be afraid to take these licks or anything else and experiment with them. Just find out what works. It's only by trying it out and seeing what doesn't work that often we find what does. Okay, so that's about it for me today. I really hope you found this video useful. Now don't forget to pick up your free rock guitar lick bundle by clicking the link underneath. It's got the tab and scale shapes and everything from this video, as well as the material from some of my other YouTube videos. So quite a lot of information in there which will really help you move your playing forward. But other than that, I think we're done for today. So thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you again in another one of my videos very soon. So cheers for watching, and I'll see you later.